Hello everyone, welcome back to Stellar Music Theory. If you haven't watched part 1 of this exam, I've posted a link in the description below. Today we are going to continue the walkthrough starting with intervals. Question 4 is on intervals. For each example, write one note to form the named interval. Your note should be higher than the given note. So when you draw the note has to be higher than your given note and not lower than it. If not, it's incorrect. The key is in D major. In D major, we have two sharps. The first sharp is always F sharp, and the second one is always C sharp. So we have F sharp and C sharp in D major. So whatever note that you're writing, if it's on F or if it's on C, you have to make sure that you put a sharp there. Question A, we have treble clef, and we are starting with D. That's the tonic of D major. They asked you to write a fourth on top of D. So D, 1, 2, 3, 4. That will be your fourth degree. Your fourth degree will be here in the second line. Now remember, when you are working with letter names, which is the A, B, C, D, E, F, G in theory, you always have to count the notes that you start with. For example, here we're starting with D, so you need to include D in your counting. D is the first one, then E, F, G. So this is G, and F sharp and C sharp doesn't apply to G, so that's your answer. Next, we have bass clef. Again, we are starting with D, and we need to find a second this time. Remember to count D as the first, so this is 1, 2. Just go up a step. It will be here. The third space. D going up a step is E. F sharp and C sharp doesn't apply to E, and that's your answer. Next, we have treble clef again. This time, they want you to draw an octave. Octave is when you go from one note to the same note. So from D, you will go to the next D, a higher D. Starting with D, you're going to find the upper D. This one here, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so it's here, this line. Or an easier way is to go every good boy deserves. Okay, that will bring you to the fourth line. D going to D, that's an octave, and you don't need any accidental for that. Next, we have treble clef. We are going up a fifth from D, again D. D, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or an easier way is 1. Go up to the next space is third. Up another space is fifth. So second space is your fifth. And this is F, A. This is an A note. You don't need any accidental for that. Last question, we have a bass clef. Again, we start on D. We're going to find the sixth. What you can do is you can count. D is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can double check. So this is 1. Skip to 3. Skip here to 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. So that's the same note, which is here. All right, what is this note? Here we have good burritos don't fall apart plus 1. That would be B. So not F, not C. You don't need to add anything to it. And that's it. Question 4.2, take one box to show the correct number of each interval. The key is C major, and when you are working with interval, it's very simple. All you need to do is to count correctly. Make sure you start with the note you're starting with. Count that note as well. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. It is a third. Next question, we start from here. 1 is the line, 2 is the space, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is an octave. Okay, you can always double check. This is middle C, and this is F, A, C, so C to C. Yes, it is an octave. Next, in bass clef here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the interval of a fourth. Next, we have this, starting on the second space. Make sure you count the space itself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So interval of a seventh. Final question, starting on this space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a fifth here. Question number 5, tonic triads. What is a triad? The word tri means three, so triad just means three notes stacking on top of each other. Tonic means do, or the first note of a scale. So tonic triad is a simple chord with just three notes, with the do or the first note being the lowest note. Triad is always made up of the root, which is the lowest note, plus a third and a fifth above it. And it's very easy to build a triad once you know the lowest note. All you need to do is to add a third and a fifth on top. Now let's take a look at A, for example. If we start the triad on a line, like here, we're starting on the second line, that will be the lowest note. All we need to do is to add a third and a fifth on top. The third will be the next line up. So the third line will be a third here, and the fourth line will be the fifth here. The triad looks something like a hamburger with the buns on the outside and the patty in the middle. If we want to build a triad in the space, like in question B, the lowest notes this time is in the space. So we need to add a third and a fifth on top of this space. The third would be the third space, and the fifth would be the fourth space. So again, it will look something like a hamburger with the buns on the outside and the patty in the middle. Now, if we look at question C, you will notice that this triad starts on a space. The third is a third on top, which is the next space. But if you look at the top note, which is here, the third line, it is not in the space, so it doesn't look anything like a hamburger. Obviously, this is not a triad, so we already know that this is a false. Back to question A. The statement is, this is the tonic triad of G major. In G major, the tonic would be do, which is G. All we need to do is to go back to the triad, look at the lowest note and see if it is G. Here we are in treble clef. We have very good. We do have G, B, D. This is the tonic triad of G major. So true. Question B. The statement is, this is the tonic triad of F major. Let's check to see if the lowest note is on F. This time we have bass clef. In bass clef, we start with all cows. So the first note or the lowest note here is C. The third is E. The fifth is G. We have C, E, G. But we are in the key of F major, and if we have to build a tonic triad, we have to start with F. This is not correct because this triad is built on C instead of F, so false. And for question C, because it's not even a proper triad, although it starts with D, this is not the right triad, so it's false. Question 5.2, add one missing note to complete each triad with the tonic as the lowest note. So the do is at the bottom, your lowest note. Use accidentals if necessary. Again, accidentals, your sharp, natural, or flat. Question A. We need to build a triad, a tonic triad of F major. So let's check to see if the bottom note is F. This is good burritos, right? So this is G falling down to F. In order to build a triad, you need to stack two notes on top of F. So the missing note here would be this one. And for the accidental, you just have to think of the key signature of F major. In the key of F major, there's one flat, and the flat is B flat. The note that you just add in is F, A, C, and it's an A. So the flat does not apply to the A, so you don't need to add anything to it. Next question, we need to build a D major. So we need to start with D. Okay, let's check. We have bass clef, good, burritos don't, 4. Okay, looks like we have a F sharp here, and we have A. So where is the D? If you write down D major scale, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Key signature of D major has 2 sharps. They are F sharp, C sharp. So I'm going to add them, F sharp and C sharp. If I need to build a tonic triad in D major, I need to start with D. So I will have D, F sharp, and A. Now looking at the question, I do have F sharp and A, so what am I missing? I'm missing the D, so I'm going to draw the D underneath at the bottom here. Okay. Next question, I need to build tonic triad in the key of C major. Let's check. The first note here, it has a ledger line under the staff, that's middle C. I do have C. I do have E. Looks like I already have the lowest notes and the middle notes of C major. All I need to do is I need to add one more note on top, like this, in the second line, and that will be G. So I have my triad of C, E, G. Next, circle the correct key for each tonic triad. So they all start on Do, meaning the lowest note is my tonic, which is the first note of my scale. Question A, what do I have here? In bass clef, I have good, burritos don't, 4. Okay, looks like I have F, A, and C. Now, if the lowest note is my tonic, that would be F. So it is in the key of F major. Question B, I have bass clef. So the first line will be G, good, burrito. So I have G, B, and D. G is my lowest note and it is my tonic. If G is tonic, which is the Do, then it must be in G major. So the answer is G major. Next, we're in treble clef this time. So it's your middle C, and this will be your D, F sharp, and A. This is your triad. If your triad is built on D, and if D is tonic, which is Do, then it must be in the key of D major. Last question, also treble clef. We have F, A, C. We build on C, E, G. This is a triad built on C. C is the lowest note, which is also the tonic, the Do. If C is the Do, it's in the key of C major. Question 6. We have terms and signs. Here you need to study your terms and signs so you understand them well. First one is staccato. What does staccato means? Staccato means detached. So staccato is like this. When you have a note and you have a dot, so you detach them. So I put a tag there. Decrescendo. This is decrescendo. It means gradually getting softer or quieter. So this is my answer. Adagio is a tempo which indicates speed. Adagio means slow. MP shows dynamics, which is how loud or how soft you should play that certain part. MP is moderately quiet or mezzo piano. MP stands for mezzo piano. Last one, we have this. Quartet equals 120 is a metronome beat. It shows you how fast you should play the music. And what it means is 120 quartet in 1 minute. So that's my answer. Question number 7, that's the last question, music in context. Look at this melody and then answer the questions that follow. So they give you an excerpt of 8 bars, 2 lines, and you need to answer a couple of questions. So question 7.1, circle true or false. The melody gets gradually louder towards the end. So where's the end? Starting from the beginning, we have bar 1, and at the end, we have bar 8. So this. At the end, we have this MF, which is mezzo forte, that indicates a moderately loud volume. But before that, we do have this here, which is a decrescendo. Decrescendo means you gradually get softer. In the statement, it says it gradually gets louder towards the end. It's not correct, so it's false. 7.2, take the bar number that contains all the notes of the tonic triad of C major. Okay, this is a very fun question. So underline tonic triad and C major. Now in the key of C major, the do, which is the tonic, is C. So in order to build a tonic triad, we start on C, add the E on top, and add the G on top. So we have C, E, G. C, E, G will be the 3 notes in the tonic triad of C major. So all we need to do is to find that bar, because it sets a certain bar that contains all the notes that contain C, E, and G. Okay, starting from the beginning, what do we have? We have F, A, C, because we are in treble clef, so we do have C and B. There are only 2 notes, so obviously it's not correct. Then next bar, what do we have? We have C falling down to B, A, G, and E. Oh, okay. We do have C, we have E, and we have G. Okay, looks like this is correct. So we're going to find bar number 2 and put a tick there. If you want to check the rest of the bars, they give you a choice of bar 5, so we go to bar 5, which is here. Check the notes starting with every good boy deserves fudge. This is F, then this is G, G, F, E, D, D. We do have G, but we do not have C. We do also have E. We are missing C. So this is not correct. The last choice is bar 6. Again, every good boy deserves fudge. F, E, D, C, D. We don't have G, so it's incorrect. Next, 7.3. Complete the following 3 sentences by ticking 1 box of each. Now, A, the longest note in the melody is it a minim? If you need help, you can draw out what a minim is. Semi-brief is this. Quartet is shaded. And dotted minim is a minim with a dot. We have to determine which one is the longest note. So among these 4 notes, the longest note is this one, the semi-brief, right? We're going to go up to the excerpt, check and see if there's any semi-brief. If you keep looking, you will notice that, oh, there we go. This is our semi-brief. In bar number 8, we do have a semi-brief. So the longest note is indeed semi-brief. Question B, bar 1 has the same pitches as? Pitches refer to the sound of the note. Let's check bar 1. Bar 1 here we have in treble clef, C and B. This is a very simple question. We just need to find another bar that looks exactly the same as bar 1. Moving on to bar 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Bar 7 is exactly the same as bar 1, so they have the same pitches. So the answer is bar 7. And question C. The letter name of the highest note in the melody is, okay, going back to the excerpt, we need to find the highest note. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to erase everything so we can see it clearly. And we are going to look for the note that is the highest. Okay, looks like this one is our highest note. Let's check carefully. Yes, that's our highest note. And what is this note? Every good boy deserves fudge. The top line is fudge, F, and this one will be that one on top, G. G will be the answer. So we're going to take G. And that's it. That's the end of the exam. If you like my video and find it useful, please click like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting different videos regularly. Stay tuned and see you next time.